I am a hoe for like a good like Instagram outfit.
But I think fast fashion brands are also pushing like stay at home clothes and like all of that. Like, what stay at home clothes? It's just like wear the clothes you already have.
I feel like sewing became really uncool for a period of time, but then like now with young people becoming more interested in sustainable fashion, sewing sort of becoming cool again, and I'm like, ah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to How Are You? So today's episode is all about sustainability and breaking up with fast fashion. And I spoke with Nayna, Moya, Sharon and Caitlin all about how they've been doing and how they've been trying to live more sustainably. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and here is episode 3.
Well, thank you. I hope you're well too.
I'm doing good. I feel like it's a bit of a up and down situation.
How have I been? Actually, you know, I've actually been okay. I think I'm like an introvert at heart.
Me, I'm actually very good, especially now talking to you. You have brightened my day.
I've gotten really into my star signs. Oh, I hate to bring that up so early.
What star sign are you?
I'm a Cancer sun, but Sagittarius rising. Are you? Oh my gosh, so fun. We love Cancers. I think apparently I'm like an Aquarius moon, and I feel like that's very like introverted. So honestly, all this time to myself has been quite nice. Not ideal, but you know, we're making the best of a bad situation. Obviously, I was meant to be in New York, but that didn't go to plan. So it's nice being with family and stuff, and trying to keep myself busy with a few creative things. You do?
Yeah.
Just like I was doing some uni work at the start, and now I'm more just like focusing on like YouTube things and just relaxing. I've been trying to like do a bit more like exercise, like even just like going on walks and stuff like that. I've been doing a bit of upcycling, you know, just some like DIY projects.
Quarantine's actually been quite good for me. I guess I'm speaking from a place of privilege where I can actually stay home and I don't have to go out and work and everything, but I feel like I've had a lot of time to just focus on myself.
What have I been getting up to? Okay, so just YouTube. I'm trying to fill my time with YouTube because obviously I lost my job, which is why I am kind of diving into this space. Well, I didn't lose it. They just said it's on hold until we can open up again.
I think I'm taking each day, but I have more like general goals. I've started like reading every day. That's like something I want to keep up with, because I never did that when I was at uni. And just like, yeah, keep up with like fitness stuff, because I was like very into like going to the gym and stuff before lockdown, so I don't want to like take a step back, you know. But I feel like in general I don't want to have like too many like goals, because I think that's like more harmful than good.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's all about setting yourself like the small goals, because I feel like they make a big difference.
Beginning, I really thought that I was like, I'm gonna get a book out, I'm gonna write down everything that I really want to know and learn how to do during this quarantine, get everything done, like clean and renovate my room, I don't know, repot my plants, learn a language. And then I think after a week, especially like watching the news, and I think it was just, everything was such a change and it was very heavy that I didn't want to set myself too many goals, because then I would just get frustrated and I'd probably like exacerbate everything. I didn't want to put that pressure on myself, I guess.
Sort of taking each day as it comes, but also in Australia now we are no longer in lockdown, so like social distancing measures have been slightly loosened, so now like cafes and restaurants are back open.
One goal whenever I came back was I want to do this like huge portrait of my mum. It wasn't like meant to be my mum, like obviously like I'd love to paint my mum, but I just wanted to do like a proper portrait painting. And there's actually like a competition in Ireland for portrait painting. Not that I think that like it's gonna go anywhere, but that's like my goal, is to like finish it in time to submit it.
Paintings, and wow, you are talented. When I was watching those vlogs, like it really inspired me. I was like, oh, I want to start painting. Like, I love
painting. It's so therapeutic, and I haven't done it in so long, because I used to do GCSE art, and then basically it just like took over my life, and I was like,
I can relate.
now that I kind of gotten into YouTube, which took a turn for events, that's like kind of a weekly goal, is to like put up a video.
For me, sustainability is not just about sustainable fashion. Obviously, it's much broader than that, and I think I became quite interested in that area when I started getting a bit more into animal welfare and animal rights. Having less meat intake is much better for our planet in the long run, so that's how that was like sort of my gateway into sustainability. And then I took a course at uni on environmental law, and I realized what a disaster the state of the world really is in terms of like the legal perspective, but also like a scientific perspective. It made me realize there are just like so many facets to this whole sustainability thing.
I think maybe like last summer was when I first started like really caring about it. A few months like prior, I was definitely like aware, and I would like research if a brand was sustainable and stuff, but I would always kind of go back to those cheaper brands just because it's like so much easier, cheaper, and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, and then last summer I just said like I'm gonna like give up fast fashion, but I tried not to like say it all the time because I don't want to be like held to something that I can't complete, you know. I think it is good to have like, I'm very much like an all or nothing kind of person. Like if I told myself like I'm just gonna like, you know, try and use less fast fashion, I would still be like, what does that really mean, you know? And then the past year I've just been trying to like shop from sustainable companies or buy things secondhand, and I'm also trying to be just generally more minimal rather than like doing a whole haul of clothes every like few months, and just buying things that I think I see myself wearing for like the rest of my life. So
yeah, I think that's really cool. And like I feel like the thing with even sustainable brands, they are often, you know, a bit more pricey, but I think that makes you sort of think more about it because you're paying more, so then you're going to think about it more, and it's not going to be like an impulse buy and then you're never going to wear it again. It's like something that will probably be in your wardrobe for a lot longer. So
I think it's always like better made as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I realized when I was probably like 3 that I wanted to either be a fashion designer or a race car driver. Very two distinct things, but I always leaned more towards the fashion side, and I think my Opa said it wasn't a good idea to be a race car driver, so, you know, crushed my dreams a little bit. But also I come from a big family, so not necessarily we haven't had a lot of money, but we definitely didn't have money to go to expensive places and buy clothes. I always wore secondhand, hand-me-down clothes, and my mum always took me op shopping. I loved like going through racks, and also op shopping for me now is like a meditation because my mind just goes black and the only thing I have to answer is yes or no. So I'll be flicking through clothes. I love it because I love finding gems. It's just, I get so much more of a thrill going into op shopping, like op shops, and looking through clothes. And when you find something, you get so excited because you found it. You had to go like spend 3 hours trying to find this like one thing, whereas if you go to a department store, it's just like everything's there, the best stuff is on display. You just go in there, spend like 20 minutes and you're like, no, I don't like anything, and leave. And also with sustainability, my family has always had secondhand furniture as well, and my parents do lots of DIY, like our whole house. When I was growing up, I think they laid all the flooring themselves.
I think like my mum has been the biggest influence. Like I said in my most recent video, like she's been volunteering at Oxfam since like I was a little baby. So like every week I'd like go along with her and like sit on the cashier. And loads of my clothes have always been like from a charity shop and stuff, and I wasn't like weird about it, but I definitely wasn't going around telling everyone, oh, like this is from a charity shop. But these days I'm like, guys, look what I found. Like I got this for like £2 in Oxfam. My mum has like always been such a sustainable like shopper, and I think she's so like pleased that it's now trendy. She thinks she's so cool. She's like, oh, I was doing this like before everyone else.
I love that. She's a cool mum. We love that.
I know, she's so sweet. She's also like, whenever she gets stuff from the charity shop, like say she like loves the fabric or whatever, she would sometimes have to alter it if it didn't like fit her. So I guess that's kind of how I've started getting into upcycling. Like it's in the blood. but we've only just begun. It's a hard process because like I've only just started learning how to properly sew.
And obviously, as someone who's really interested in fashion, I feel like I sort of never really connected the dots. Like I always knew that sustainable fashion sort of existed, but I guess it was like individual like pockets of ideas for me. I never fully like was like, oh yeah, this is all connected. But now I'm sort of like seeing the big picture. I've realized that my input into being sustainable with my fashion is just as important as maybe reducing my meat intake or traveling less by car, or you know, just being more active about trying to do something about climate change, because I think that's really what this all boils back down to, is climate change.
When I found how devastating fast fashion was, and fashion in general is to the planet, that's when I really started to change my mind about those things. This jumper I'm wearing right now, this is from a vintage store in the city, and I absolutely love it. Look how grandma it is.
It's so grandma, and I love that. I was like, when I go into a charity shop, I don't leave until I've gone through every single aisle, and I
go through like all the men's section as well, even like the kids section, because sometimes they put women's stuff there. Yes, I'm so glad I found someone else who has done that, because everyone I talk to, they go, no, what the hell are you doing?
Really like the documentary The True Cost on Netflix. I feel like a lot of people have talked about that, but that's definitely quite like eye-opening. I think it just comes back to like why I'm vegan and all of that sort of thing. Like I see videos of like kind of like how food is made, or like how your clothes are made and stuff like that, and I just, every time I buy something, I would just be thinking like, how can I possibly like think that that's okay? And I guess it's not like accessible to everybody, but I feel like coming from like a place of like privilege where I'm able to like choose to shop sustainably, and especially having like a platform to talk about it, I think that it's like important that I'm responsible, and I'm like lucky to be in a position where I can like shop sustainably, so like I feel like I owe it to like the people that can't.
You are like using this platform in like honestly the best way, like even because you know, even I, when I saw that you were talking about this, it made me think about it, and I'm sure it's made a lot of other people think about it.
Like obviously climate change is just so scary, and I like don't even want to think about it. I guess like whenever that became more like talked about on the internet and within like the fashion industry, I definitely became like more aware of it. But I think for the most part I've always been quite good at like shopping, just because of my mum. Like I would have like still ordered stuff from like Pretty Little Thing. To be fair, like those kind of sites I was always apprehensive about, just because like I hate bad quality clothing. A lot of it was also just like money, like thrifting and going to charity shops. It was just so satisfying, like finding pieces.
It's so satisfying.
Which are just so cheap. The same with like Depop. Before Depop I would shop on eBay, which, what a throwback.
I feel like being a student as well, like charity shops are great. I remember one time I found, it was a Comme des Garçons jumper which retail at like probably like £100. I got it for £5, and I was like,
oh my gosh, I know.
I wore it to school, and everyone was like, oh my god, like where did you get that? Like guys, it was £5, like don't at me. I found it in a charity shop.
That is one thing I'm like struggling with in quarantine, is not being able to go to charity shops. It's so fun. It's like it's like a sport for me.
I think one of the biggest moments was probably when I was working for a fashion retail store. It was all the plastic everything was packaged in. Like you plastic wrap the clothes, and then you put it in another huge bag of plastic, and then you put it in a box, and then you put that in another bag of plastic. And just going through everything and every knick-knack that they would sell, I'd be like, wow, they didn't have to package this. And it just goes all in the bin. So that's one big thing that I learned. Found out about pricing. So I found that like t-shirts that they would buy for $10, $15, they were like polyester, weren't made very well. They would put them on the shelves for $50 to $60. Sometimes upwards of $100. That money is going to the workers and the store, and you can appreciate that, but they don't need that much percentage from that one item. That could have gone to the company that pays their workers, that could have gone to the workers' families, that could have gone to the cotton growers, so they don't feel the pressure of debt. It's really deep rooted in everything. how many pesticides did they have to use to make this cotton? How much water did they have to use? Who made it? Like, I just keep asking myself those questions and it made me feel really bad. This year, I have bought nothing new. Nothing has been new. It's all been from Depop or op shops, or I'm upcycling things I already have at home, and I feel so much better about it. And I actually love my wardrobe so much more now.
Keep indulging in fast fashion. I sort of really think that it comes down to people really being detached from where the products they buy come from these days. People have just gotten so used to having easily accessible clothing and the demand for it drives the prices down. And I think at a certain point, people have forgotten the amount of effort it takes to create clothing and who is really behind the process of what they are buying. So I think the right approach, the correct approach is to create more awareness, like this video that you're doing. I think this is such a great outlet for people to become more aware. It can't just be like, oh, judging someone for shopping fast fashion. It has to be like more awareness.
Are you wearing the top you made, by the way?
I know, I'm doing self promo.
I love it so much.
I wore it for this video. Yeah, no, I'm also like filming a video right now and I just thought I'd wear it. I'm not like that keen, but maybe
Moya did the same thing.
No, did she actually? Oh,
She wore the top that she made as well, and I was like, oh, everyone's so prepared. I love it.
I just thought like it's better than me being like, look what I made.
Okay, so we've got the top,
Love
the
it.
dress,
Yeah.
the two-piece set, and I actually have worn the top a few times. I haven't worn the dresses. It's really cold where I am right now.
Oh,
No, thank you. Yeah, just like things here and there. Nothing really too serious, except for these.
Yeah.
These three.
I love the way she's like, nothing too serious, and she's holding up like these amazing.
The piece that I'm wearing right now, I can direct you towards my YouTube video where I make this top. Yeah, I was like, oh, I should probably like wear something like vaguely cute, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I should wear the thing that I made. But yeah, this is my top.
Woo!
I actually really like this one. I feel like it's quite with jean inspired.
It looks like something you'd find in like, I don't know, like Reformation. Like it looks so cute. Like honestly.
It turned out really well. I'm very proud of it.
Maybe you can like include a little video snippet or
Yeah,
something. But yeah, I've made a couple of things during quarantine.
Yeah.
They are all up on my YouTube channel, so self-promo.
Love the cardigan that you made.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's just like a shirt that I kind of amateur sewing to, but it's really fun. I feel like I would definitely recommend, especially if you have things that you're not wearing anyway, like there's not really much to lose, and a good quarantine project.
Yeah, definitely. I like that you didn't use a sewing machine. Like it made me feel like I could do it.
I love watching people's videos where they've like used the sewing machine because it always turns out so good, but I just like feel like this is more achievable.
I feel like sewing became really uncool for a period of time, but then like now with young people becoming more interested in sustainable fashion, sewing sort of becoming cool again, and I'm like, ah.
This is such an interesting question because it's something I've been thinking about like a lot now that I've been at home, obviously, because I don't think I would have like done half of this stuff if I wasn't like forced to be at home and have like nothing else to do. Like making videos, painting, like I've definitely been more creative. But then there's like the other side of it where, because I have so much time at home, I don't know, I'm like overwhelmed by how much like opportunity I have to like make things. I feel like I have to be like creating all the time, which can be quite stressful and overwhelming, but overall it's been quite positive. I just have these like creative quarter life crises quite a lot, where I'll just like rant at my friend about like, I'm not doing enough, I haven't written a book yet, like
It has given me so much freedom because it's given me time. So I'm doing everything that I've wanted to do for years, aka YouTube. Been wanting to do that for really long time. I would probably say that like 16 personalities thing. I'm an INFP, I'm pretty sure, and that just means that I love staying indoors. So it made me so happy. I saw a few comments on my videos going, "This has really helped me during quarantine," or "You brightened my day," and that has made me feel so much better that I can do that, because I am so happy being by myself.
I always thought I was an extrovert because I'm definitely very outgoing, like I'm very social. But then I like read something and it was like the way you determine whether you're an extrovert or an introvert is like the way you recharge. So
yes, the way you
recharge. I definitely recharge from being by myself, and I definitely think this time has kind of made me realize I'm actually a lot more introverted than I thought I was.
Really discovering themselves during this time as well. I think that they're really just taking time to be by themselves. And I guess by doing that, you're kind of finding out what you really like and what really helps you as a human.
Really hindered my creativity overall. I think it's like at the start, it was kind of more of like a fun challenge to see like, oh, what kind of videos can you make that's like at home and like all of that sort of thing. But I think as time goes on, I feel like I'm just getting like less inspired, because just like seeing the same four walls all day is not that like motivating. But I do think there's a lot of like interesting content that you can like, there's a lot of content online at the moment that's like really interesting, but I think probably more of a negative.
Really? I'm like surprised you say that, because
really,
because I feel like your videos recently, like the editing has been on point.
Because my videos are about sewing and I can do it mainly at home, I feel like I haven't felt much of a hindrance. Maybe for people who create content about traveling a lot, it would have done them quite a bit of harm, but because my activity is focused at home, I don't feel like I've been limited in any way. Like I've just loved the extra time that I can actually use to sew stuff, and it's been great for me.
Oh my god, okay. I have to talk about this. Yeah. This is something I'm very passionate about. Okay, so marketing is a huge thing with the fashion industry. That's why we're so obsessed with shopping like online and in store. And we feel so comfortable, like you were saying before last year, you felt so comfortable just like adding something to a cart, and it would feel really good at the time because like, this is really beautiful, I love it on the model. And then you add it to the cart and then it comes to you and you're like, oh, this is like maybe not really what you wanted, or it's what you wanted but you didn't really like it because the fit on you was a little bit different than the model.
Yeah.
It's so stressful. I don't know. I've grown up with such like a good relationship with clothes from like my mom's influence. Like it's just been hammered into my head, like not to really buy from, like just if we think about like Boohoo, Misguided, Pretty Little Thing, like they have never really been like part of my life. And whenever my friends order from them, I'm like, guys, like no. Especially like in these times, everyone's just like searching for like that dopamine rush. Like people need like some form of like excitement in their lives. Like we can't like go out and party or like sleep with anyone, like nothing exciting is happening. So people are finding that excitement in purchasing things. I understand the mindset. It's just like, I don't know, it's like I don't know how you can change something that's so like prevalent.
I think there's just like people are bored and they're using like that as something to do. But I think fast fashion brands are also pushing like stay at home clothes and like all of that. Like what stay at home clothes? It's just like wear the clothes we have. I get like maybe you're like lounging around more, so maybe you need like one more thing, but not like a whole new wardrobe of matching sweatsuits. I think obviously it's like a negative thing of people kind of just like overconsumption, just like the same as always really. I think a lot of it does come back to like that's the fast fashion brand's fault. I don't think that people necessarily like, I think the issue lies more with them than like the consumers.
Yeah, 100%.
From the buyer's perspective, I think it's people like, oh wow, I have so much extra time to like browse through these sites, and whoa, there's this awesome sale, maybe I should buy all of this stuff that I don't need because self-care, and I want to treat myself because I'm stuck at home. I think that's how people sort of feel. I was even getting a few promotional emails from a couple of different fast fashion sites, and they were all like, oh, buy this to look cute for your Zoom call. Like, that is like next level marketing, and I feel like it's definitely going to work on some people. Honestly, like no shade, like I feel like someone could have done a massive haul on fast fashion, but like in another aspect of their life they could be like a coal seam gas activist or something. So you know, like I don't want to judge anyone for shopping fast fashion, but like definitely like a self-care thing for girls. It's like Afterpay the depression away, or you know.
That's one big thing, is that people are shopping online. This is like online in general, is that you're seeing something on a model and you're seeing something that like a size 8 in Australia. I am like a size, I just naturally have small ribs, so I'm like a size 7, 8, 6 up the top, and then my butt I'm like a size 8. So when I see it on the model, it fits them in the bust. It's like a classic size 8 or a 10, and it fits them like literally everywhere, because the models that they get fits the product perfectly. And when it comes to your door, it's not going to fit you the same. So that's why I love having a sewing machine, that I can fix that up. But so many people don't have a sewing machine, and then they will start to think of themselves as different because they don't fit it properly. Like dresses, okay, mini dresses, right? Mini dresses are like tunics on me, or like long tops, because I am like this, right? I am a lengthy bitch. I have like a long ass torso. I need 13-inch rise jeans, okay? This is on me, finished literally right here, like just covering my butt. And I'm like, this makes me feel like shit, because I'm not going to fit the standard size that everyone else thinks that they are. I wish they gave you extra material so I could take down the hem so it would fit me like a mini dress. And they actually used to do that, used to give you jeans where you could take down the hem so you could make it fit you better. But now they're not doing that, because they can save so much more on money and materials by making everything shorter.
I feel like the thing I really want to do right now is like travel, but I think that's going to be so long until that happens. In general, probably just like go like meet up with my friends and just like, I don't know, have some time away from the house, just like a proper like full day out, like go out for a meal, I don't know, like walk around London, just like have like a proper day out.
Do you miss Edinburgh?
Yeah, definitely. I think I just miss like, obviously the city and everything, but just like living with your friends is so different to like living with your parents. Neither bad, but it's just like such a different change of environment.
God, my answer is I really don't know. I'm really actually loving staying at home, so I haven't been making crazy plans on what I want to do after lockdown finishes, but I guess one thing I'd really like to do is see my friends in person, catch up over a nice dinner. We're going into winter in Australia and it's cold, so I just want to stay home.
Ooh, I'm gonna party so hard. I'm gonna get so drunk. I'm gonna book a flight somewhere warm, and then I'm gonna party in that warm place and get really drunk in that warm place, and then come home and party more. I just miss my friends and going out. I wish I had like a better answer, but we all know what we're gonna be doing.
I'll probably go like and buy a plant. I'm gonna go and like get something to treat myself. I've been eyeing a variegated monstera for a really long time, like a year, and I think that'll be a really nice gift for myself.
To not judge each other for doing certain things. I feel like if we're all passionate about the environment in one way or another, it's all going to add up, and we can really complement each other and not be like, oh, you're not doing enough because you're not doing XYZ. But it's more about like teaching each other what we're doing individually and creating more awareness so we can make the world a better place.
Like the influencer industry, especially with fashion and everything, a lot of people who are full-time influencers, like they make money. This is how they make money, from like advertising these clothes and telling you to buy these things. But it's so refreshing to see like people like you and Moya and Nayna and everyone, like you guys are in this industry, I guess, but you're not promoting that, and you're promoting like self-expression and like being creative with fashion and being sustainable and having fun with it, and that is just so refreshing. Like I just love it so much. Like
with a lot of like fast fashion brands at the moment, like because of like the whole situation, a lot of them aren't like paying their workers that aren't able to work. I think there's like a post that's like pay up, and it shows all the ones that are, you've probably seen it, it's like all the brands that are like paying their workers and the ones that aren't. So I think that's something that needs to like be pushed more, because that's like that's your responsibility as a brand to like look after the people that you employ. And it's just like another example of how they literally like couldn't care less about anyone or anything. It's literally just about like making the money.
I have such like a weird relationship with like clothes, because like I love fashion so much and I love like staying trendy. Like I am a hoe for like a good like Instagram outfit.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely been something that like I've struggled with, trying to go into sustainable fashion and like be more ethical in my choices, because the places that are making the trendy clothes are mostly fast fashion, obviously. Upcycling for me was like a good way to like make trendy pieces but have it be still ethical. But like also on the other side of that, I would still buy from certain brands if I know that I'm gonna like use a piece over and over again. Like I can understand someone buying like a nice pair of jeans from a non-sustainable company because they're gonna wear it like basically every day.
Another thing that I was gonna ask is, obviously when you do like fashion content on YouTube and Instagram, I feel like that kind of makes you want to like stay with the trends, because you're like giving people this content and but at the same time you like want to be ethical with your like
it was actually interesting because a lot of trendy pieces I would buy off Depop, and from brands like I flipping love Brandy Melville, like their clothes, like I love their clothes. I hate everything about the company, but they make cute clothes. They're not even good quality clothes, but they still make cute clothes. And like I'll buy stuff off Depop, which is from Brandy Melville, or like Urban Outfitters off Depop. But then the thing that I'm at the minute like a bit like iffy about is, so whenever I post a picture wearing the piece which I bought, even though I bought it secondhand, am I still supporting me by promoting wearing their clothing? Which I haven't had to think about until, I don't know, I feel like now that my audience has like kind of grown a bit, I feel bad, like, I don't know, wearing stuff that is still a company that I don't really want to support, but I bought it secondhand.
By wearing it and by saying like I bought this secondhand, I feel like that would, if anything, promote buying secondhand. Like I feel like that would maybe make people think like, oh, she bought that secondhand, like why? And maybe that would make them think about it more. So I think there are definitely sides to it.
Yeah, it's an interesting industry.
$200 can either buy you 10 things and maybe they'll fall apart in a year if you wear it frequently, or you can spend $200 on a dress, like the people who can afford it, at least $200 on a dress, and know that you're going to absolutely love it and care for it, and it's going to be yours for 50 years. Yeah, being at home, people still want the thrill of shopping, so like the whole like retail therapy thing, and I'm like that too, but instead of going online shopping, I'll go on Depop, so I still get the thrill of that. But I think I bought a pair of shoes for $35, which isn't that much. They were leather, they were beautiful, and I was really excited to get them, and I bought them straight away. I was like, these are beautiful, I'm gonna get them. And she DM'd me like 5 minutes later saying, thank you so much, this is going to help me pay my bills for the week. And I was like, wow. Endless cycle of making something that is absolutely not sustainable, buying it extremely cheap, wearing it once, not liking it anymore, donating it, thinking you're actually doing a good deed when really you're not. You're just like adding to the pile of waste, but there's just another step in between, and then it goes into landfill. And that's why I think a lot of people don't understand, is that when you go to an op shop, you spend 3 hours there, you're searching for things, you're curating your store or Depop, and then that takes a lot of time to photograph everything, to find things, and then you have to add a price on there that you're actually going to get paid for. And also they're finding gems for you. They're finding something that you wouldn't have been able to find.